Great job.
Fuck them.
Lot of notable stories. Did you see this Tylenol thing from RFK?
No, now I putting this thing together.
Yeah.
So there's a study, I guess, that came out that
They
says
say that Tylenol is causing autism in mothers that are taking it while the baby's in vitro. So the baby is getting it through the mother. And there's some people in the replies saying Tylenol also is administered frequently for babies who are in pain after vaccines. And the Tylenol mixed with the vaccine might cause a problem. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what's true. I see a lot of people, though. I just want to point out, having just had a baby, there's a lot of people in my circles and other circles pointing out that RFK is anti-vax, he's anti-science, he's anti-this, anti-that. He wants to take vaccines off the schedule. Do you know how many vaccines babies in the United States get between birth and 18 years old?
7?
80. Do you know how many they get in Canada between birth and 18 years old?
10?
20. So for people who, like, even if you don't want any vaccines, fine. Like, this is a Bitcoin podcast. God knows there's a lot of people out there with a lot of different views on this stuff. I'm fine with that. But to say that this guy is anti-vaccine when really he wants to reduce the schedule in the States to something that's closer to us or European countries or Japan, like, it's just not true. And this is I think for a lot of people, this is an easy way to open the conversation up to the media saying this stuff is lying to you. They're funded by pharma. The politicians saying this stuff is bad for healthcare are lying to you. They're funded by pharma. And once you can get in the door that way and say, look, our vaccine schedule is 20, theirs is 80. Like, one of us is wrong. It's a different conversation, and one that's a little bit more palatable, I think, for people who are still in the waking up phase, let's call it.
Did we submit our paperwork to get an H1B guy to help us out?
I didn't. I put on, I went to LMIA.com and put in a request there. We're going to be paying $36 an hour for a TikTok maker. He'll be doing our TikTok reels. Yeah. He'll be kicking back $35.50 an hour of that to me, and he'll be living in my car, but we'll have the TikToks made and he can hang out in Canada.
That whole H1B stuff was interesting to see how it played out in the States.
It is a policy that correctly applied would have a perfect incentive outcome. You know, if you need the person, pay the fee. And that person, presumably, if you can't get them in Canada or can't get them in the United States, I should say, is someone that's so high value that 100,000 is peanuts. But obviously, Len, there was a huge fight and a fuss and all this other stuff. And why? Because everyone knows it's just a scam.
Did they rescind this? This was an executive order.
Yeah, they originally, I think the reporting I saw on this was that it was going to be a yearly
year.
Yearly, and now it's, I think, just one time. And there's also professional streams that are exempted. So doctors, for example, could be exempted.
Right.
Certain companies, certain what's the word? I guess like silos that are deemed important to U.S. supremacy could be exempted too. I don't know. It's like everything else. It's ongoing. This administration, for all its strengths and weaknesses, the one thing that's consistent is they do policy by trial balloon a lot of the time, and this is another example of that.
Canada is going to be the beneficiary of this, and the fact that there's going to be more
beneficiary. Is that the word you would use? Yeah, I don't know if I'd use that word. I gotta tell you,
hey,
I'm not sure I'd use that word for that.
We're just going to be a bigger pool that's going to be available to draw from willing people that want to come here.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, I don't know. Again, the beneficiary thing is like it's questionable to me. I don't know if I agree. But you know what? I think a lot of people now, at the very least, the conversation around this stuff has opened up in a way that just a year ago, you would never have been able to talk about. It's everywhere. It's in Europe. It's in the States. It's here, obviously. Let's keep it going. I want to see more and more people talk about this because it's clearly an issue. It's a cultural issue. It's an issue, as Ben Rabideau points out, that there's 500,000 more males in some of these countries that we're getting people from. So we're not getting any females, and it's causing demographic issues here, demographic issues in other places. It's all bad. It's a conversation that, you wouldn't have had if it wasn't, oh, look what the orange man's trying to do. Like we got some opportunities here because everyone is, everything this guy does is a powder keg. So let's not waste it. Let's take advantage and get the conversation going.
Well, in Canada, I think it's been a while before we get that conversation going because we had people shitting on beaches. Nobody really did much about that. People tossing garbage into pristine waters and northern or central Ontario. Nobody's done anything about that. You go to any fast food place and it's just dominated by one group of people and nobody's saying anything about that. So it's probably nobody's going to be saying about this for some time. If you recall, too, not too long ago, Mark Carney was saying that the top two things that businesses, at least in Quebec, are looking at is number one being tariffs, the second being they need more temporary foreign workers. So the fact that they looks like they still want to continue that, and it's something that he said out loud. It's not something that we're reading between the lines. I'm almost saying it verbatim what he said. He's the guy in charge, right?
I don't doubt that businesses want foreign labor. I doubt that that's a business model that we should be rewarding. That's correct. All. Yeah,
that's right. That's a very good point. But he didn't go out there and say, "Look, we're gonna do some analysis here."
No, obviously not. It was just nothing to gain from analyzing anything. He doesn't have anything to gain from that.
Well, see what happened with the Federal Reserve when they dropped the rates 25 basis points. And the
long end bond going the wrong direction.
Were they expecting a bigger cut? Was that the expectation?
And it just didn't happen? Okay, so the Statement of Economic Projections, or Survey of Economic Projections, I think it's called, the SEP, the dot plot, is all over the place. And this new guy that got in there, the Trump appointee who still works at the White House, his name escapes me, Myron or something like that. He's on TV calling for 50-point cuts. The dot plot now is mixed. There's people calling for 2 cuts, 1 cut, no cuts. The average, I think, is 2 cuts before the end of the year. They have 2 meetings left, and there's 50 basis points to go in the projections. Are they going to do 2 cuts? Yeah, I think they will. And I think the problem, Len, is that the reason the long end goes up is because the currency is going to be weak and the printing is going to be extreme. And you're going to see that here too. I just had a conversation last week with a fella at RBC. I was renewing my mortgage. And finally, a competent guy here in Dundas, I won't say his name, but if you're looking to renew your mortgage in Dundas or the surrounding area, I'll put you in touch with him. We were talking about rates and the sort of economy broadly and all these different things about, how people don't really understand the short end impact and the long end impact on something like mortgage rates. And how, for example, here in Canada, because the budget's coming out in about a month, you're going to have people who are less confident in the Canadian economy going forward, the Canadian dollar going forward. And so what does that do? It drives the long end of the curve up. And when the long end of the curve goes up, it has an impact on stuff like mortgage rates, has an impact on stuff like foreign investment, has an impact on all sorts of things. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, but soon people will start to have no choice but to pay attention, much the same way as most people now know that there was a rate cut last week in the States and in Canada. The next level up from that is, okay, what does the rate cut do to my mortgage? It doesn't necessarily mean my mortgage comes down. What it does is weaken the economy or the economic outlook. And that in turn drives the long end up. And that could impact my mortgage in a way that I don't like, in a way it's not favorable. It might raise the rate. So interesting stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff going on with rates in the States. The lesson, though, is that the Bureau of Labor Statistics was wrong about the data. And Powell was late to cut. And I think his words during the press conference last week, not outright saying it, but basically saying, like, look, there's a lot of stuff now. There's risk going both ways, and we have to be careful with what we do. And so they're leaning toward careful and not leaning toward restrictive anymore. That's a significant sea change in the way that they're setting policy. So all that to say, let's wait for next month when they cut again, and we'll do the same segment a second time with probably close to the exact same dialogue.
And Canada cut theirs 25 basis point on the very same day as well.
Yeah.
So that was kind of hidden in all this. But Canada's done a number of different cuts since the Fed last did. I think
we were on hold. We were on hold for a few months. So,
but even with that, we've still done far more cuts than the Federal Reserve. I think it's 2024 was the last time the Fed did it. Yeah. And we've done a few in 2025.
So I just renewed my mortgage the week after that cut. Like I said, I got 5-year variable at 3.7. And I think that's going to be, by the end of next year, 3.2, probably 3.1, something like that, if I had to guess.
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
it looks like we're in a situation that Tom Kratz has talked about a lot. Is they're in a situation where they're cutting rates, inflation is kind of going up. At least
they're cutting into inflation. Yeah, exactly.
Like, because in the United States, the inflation has been going up since April of 2025, very slightly, but it kind of bottomed out in April 2025, and now we have several months of it going up, and it now starting to cut rates in the United States and Canada. Everyone is looking at the price of beef and shit like that. It's gone up significantly, and they're also cutting rates here. So now they're borrowing, cutting rates. Inflation is going up. Tom Karadz has talked about this at least a couple of years ago, that we would be in a situation like this, and here we are. And interesting to see. And one thing I forgot to mention too, we were talking about the LMIAs and H1Bs. There was a few interesting LMIAs that were posted out there that was noted on X, and
by Michelle Rempel Garner or somewhere else.
Somewhere else. And this was a line cook for Toronto Cassie's Dog Spa, located in Sarnia.
Wait a minute. You say line cook?
Yeah. And there's also the Fifi's Dog Parlor located they're looking for line cooks over there. And also they're looking a line cook at Noah's Ark Pet Boarding that's located in Tillsonburg. And somebody took a picture of the Fifi's Dog Parlor, and it was a Google Street View picture, and you look inside, and there is no area for a fucking line cook in there. It's what you expect a dog parlor to be. Yeah, anything but.
Like, what else could you do? It's not many ways you can work a line cook into it. Like anything related to pets.
So that's potentially scam territory.
They're frauds. Of course, they're frauds.
I'm being careful with my words here.
It's obvious. Like these people are just lying all the fucking time. Or like this poor lady in Waterloo who posted this picture of a guy in a turban who's like stealing eggs from her, and she's like, "Does anyone know this man? He was shopping with us and forgot to pay. Like, if you know him, just tell him to come back and pay." Like, lady, the high trust society you thought you lived in has completely eroded, and now people are stealing your eggs and then throwing the wrappers on the side of the highway, throwing the curtains on the side of the highway. Like, okay, man. Okay, it's all good. LMIAs for line cooks at dog parks and parlors and guys stealing eggs, and on we go.
Do you ever take your dog for a grooming?
Yeah.
Do they have any line cooks?
They don't.
You see, like,
you get no one's cooking. No one's cooking at the parlor.
I want the Swedish meatballs. I want a sausage. Oh, by the way, do you mind just shaving my dog down to basically the skin?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, and those are the two things you kind of don't want in the same venue as well.
God.
Right? But anyways. Via Rail. About them, the Canadian.
This is a great story. Fantastic story by you. Good find by you. Yeah.
No, somebody posted it. Franconomics.
Franco Terrazzano. He's the Canadian Taxpayer Federation lead dog. I want to get him on the podcast. Also, I think he benches more than me, which is another reason I want to get him on the podcast. It looks like he's not missing many meals, that kid.
So Via Rail is a Canadian Crown Corp. Right. Okay. Nothing crazy about that. There's quite a few of them out there.
Very normal.
Apparently, they distributed $11.4 million in bonuses in the fiscal year 2023-2024. That's the last information apparently that's available. $1.1 million was paid to 11 executives, averaging over $100,000 per person, and $10.2 million was paid to 748 employees below the executive level. It was reported that they have an operating loss of $381 million in that same fiscal year, and still they're giving out these bonuses. Furthermore, they received $773 million in taxpayer subsidies in 2023. That was a 15% increase.
Is that a lot? Can we get a comment here? Is that a lot? Seems like it might be a lot.
They have not made a profit since 2017. And in 2023, by the way, remember that I mentioned they gave out $11.4 million in bonuses that year. 40% of Via Rail trains were late in 2023. So what's the metric, one would say, of success for trains? For me, would be being full and on time. But barring being full, on time would be it, right? I'm not a train operator.
Just be on time.
So anyways, so that's just.
Is there a lot of traffic on train tracks? Is that like the problem? Are they getting stuck?
They said no.
Can they hit the 407 to be like to regain?
That is an issue in some areas because Canada CN Rail owns like certain track, but from what these late trains. Apparently, that was not the case. So it wasn't due to tracks being used or something else. Anyways, there's also another one, the Canada Infrastructure Bank, CIB. That's another Canadian corporation, Crown Corporation. And this was established. This is a beauty story. This was established to attract private investment for Canadian infrastructure projects. And they reportedly paid out $8 million in bonuses to employees in the fiscal year 2022-2023. The parliamentary budget officer reported that the CIB has dispersed only a fraction of its total $35 billion budget and has completed a limited number of projects since its inception. The CIB has spent more on salaries and bonuses than on actual infrastructure development in some years. Interesting. That's where we're at. I have nothing to add. I'm just
what can you what that is the norm for these kinds of programs, is it not?
Hey man,
like, that's what reading. We see this. We see this constantly. We see it constantly. Like, he would have been better off doing whatever modular homes. You know, would have had a better output, a better ROI.
I like that photo op by Carney walking up the stairs.
I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, so they
I saw him eating a pastry today with somebody, but didn't see him walking up the stairs.
Was it in Hamilton?
No, he's a gallivanting. Have you seen this picture? I gotta find it. This is gonna get us in trouble, but whatever. It's so funny.
No, I'm just curious. I mean, if it's been posted by like this CBC or something. Like,
no, Carney posted it.
Oh, then what could you say? Like, this is straight from the source.
I mean, it's funny because I keep on getting told that like we're finding new trade partners, but here it is. Okay, this is too much for me. I got to be honest with you. He's in some African country. I don't know exactly which country, but he's meeting with someone whose name I can't pronounce and will never learn because I don't need to. And in this photo, he is at a conference table, and the quote is, "Today, President Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah and I discussed how Canada and Namibia can deepen our partnership and empower workers by creating more opportunities for trade and investment in both our nations." The double dash, by the way, sign of AI. And empower workers by creating more opportunities for trade. Do you know what percentage of our GDP trades with Namibia?
Percentage, I'll say 0.05.
Got to be 0. And you know what? I get the feeling Namibia doesn't do many of these conferences because, as you can see here, this is not a conference table. It's a number of other tables just slammed together with 2 flags that they got off Amazon. Does no one else think this is completely insane? Why? Like, what is the point of doing this? We look so weak and weird doing stuff like that. That country's not fit for modern economies, like modern economic partnerships. Clearly,
why? I don't know much about Namibia.
Well, I can't say anything. Len, you don't need to know much else. Look at the picture. Look at the picture.
I know. I'm just going to remain silent on this.
Okay, I knew it. See, I told you.
I don't know. See, I can't speak with confidence on this one. So, I to be perfectly honest,
call it a vibe.
I can't even point to it on a map.
Perfect.
That's where I'm starting from. And I like geography, and I could point to a lot of countries on the map, but that I have no fucking clue. I don't know. So
I was almost going to put in my tag today, instead of autistic from Thailand, I'll trade envoy to Namibia, but I decided not to. I should have.
You know, the thing, we should have sent our Governor General Mary Simon there. Right? she would have been.
That would have been an expensive trip. She spends $1,100 on shoes, I read. So
I just want to point out, like, I don't know what type of shoes you get for $1,100, right? But I'm going to show you what a Bitcoiner, and this is what happened to me last week at work, Joey, and this is no fucking joke, ladies and gentlemen. I was walking to the washroom. I had to go to the washroom, and it's like, something's wrong with my foot, right? And I look down, and my fucking shoe, this is, right? See, this is the shoe of a fucking Bitcoiner. I'm not getting $1,100 shoes for a reason, because I don't have an unlimited amount of money. There's no like.
Do you have any money at all? Yeah, I see better shoes than that on guys.
Clearly, no. This is like, and I'm not trying to say this is. I'm not bullshitting here. Like, I had to go to my car, and I'm shocked I even had golf shoes in my fucking trunk, and I just wore the golf shoes instead of this. Because I had to wear something.
You were wearing your clickers around the lab, really?
Yeah, I had to. So I had to wear this. So, anyways, so that's what I'm trying to point at. There's a difference between fiat and Bitcoin. I don't have the ability to go to somebody. I need more. I can't submit expenses. Like I have a limited budget, and I try to respect what I earn, and I'm trying to save for the future. As you could tell, fuck, you look at my cars, look at my shoes. Others, there's seems like there's not the same thing. I'm not. The perception is like it's pathetic, and I'm it's too bad it is like this. But it's just when I read this story and when this happened to my shoe, it's just like, man, this is like was meant to be.
Can't win them all. Can't win them all.
Fucking any of them. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't know. That's funny. Nice,
and
nice visual aid there for people who are on audio only. The bottom of Len's shoe is like quite literally falling off. He's still wearing it.
If anyone used to watch Married with Children back in the day, when Al Bundy showed to Bubba Smith his best pair of socks, that's really the only way I could attribute it to. When first Bubba Smith shows it's got like a tiny hole, and Bundy shows, yeah, I take a gander of my best pair of socks. And there's one strand of string, the fucking bottom holding it together. Love that show back in the day.
Great show.
Great stuff. But yeah. I gotta, I'm not gonna do this every week, but it just so happened maybe we should do this segment of the show, that new one I came up with. What the fuck did I spend my money on?
That was from Two Whites and a Blue. I used to open every Two Whites and a Blue episode with "What'd you spend your money on last week?"
No, but it's what I spent. Not just you, me, everybody. This is the grants and contribution stuff from the government of Canada. I got full duties here that I love this stuff. So we got number one. The value in this one is $27,900, so almost $28,000, and it's unlocking value for peasants through tomatoes and outgrowers. But it's not just, it's in fucking Zimbabwe, man. They're doing this in Zimbabwe.
They're a key trade partner.
They sure are. So they're trying to make it better over there, to do shit with tomatoes, to unlock the value so farmers could. I love it. That's $28,000 for that banger right there. That's number one. I got 4 of them in total. Second, I got the nature positive food systems for climate change adaptation. $35 million. This is over a 3-year period of time. $35 million over 3 years. And the project aims to improve low carbon, climate resilient economies in rural areas of Ethiopia, Kenya, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe again, and enhance well-being in communities, especially women, girls, and other vulnerable groups. $35 million over 3 years.
I can't.
Climate change adaptation.
I can't do it.
Beautiful.
I can't do it.
So number 3, what the fuck did I spend my money on? We have $68 million. The impact of gender role conflict in the relationship between internalized heterosexualism and unprotected anal intercourse amongst gay men. Testing a moderate effect. So I'm going to repeat this. $68,000. The impact of gender role conflict on the relationship.
68,000 or 68 million?
68,000.
Oh, thank God. I thought you said
the impact
68
of gender role conflict in the relationship between internalized heterosexualism and unprotected anal intercourse amongst gay men.
Sounds like people are internalizing their heterosexualism inside someone else in that study.
Could be. Oh, you know what? The last one's not loading up.
I can't. Is it the gender just beans? The gender just beans one.
It is. I loaded up. Beans for Women of Empowerment. This is the Beans for Women aims to strengthen the gender equality agency in decision making and resource rights for women and girls active in the bean sector in 3 conflict-prone provinces in Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo. And so they have 3 targets. One is promoting gender equity in bean value chain. Second is increasing agricultural productivity by disseminating bean research products by users, blah, blah, blah. And third, reducing the vulnerability of the bean value chain by climate change. Love this stuff. This is $22 million over a span of 5 years.
$22 million.
And I just want to point out, when you go to the search.open.canada.ca website, you look at the grants. and I'm not fucking kidding. I had to do a double take on this. At first, I got it wrong. Every page you look at has something like 5 to 10 different grants they issued. This is over the past 10, 15 years. It's over a long enough period of time. Nonetheless, you have 5 to 10 per page. Joey, there's almost 1.1 million pages.
Oh my God. Are you serious?
Yes. I initially thought this is 108,000. I missed a fucking digit.
You missed a million. You missed a million
of
them.
1.1 million of these pages. And each page has like 5 to 10 of these grants that were issued. Some are like a few $1,000s. Some are several million. That's what the fuck I spent my money on. There you go. We all spend it like that.
We all spent it. That's right. We're all in it together. We're all in it together. Elbows up.
Shake Pay rewards look like they're coming down.
Brutal.
Yeah,
shout out to Jordan for turning me on to this story. They're pushing the card, right? They're pushing the card and the savings account, and Bitcoiners don't care about that shit. They don't. I barely use my card. I use it to keep my shaking streak going or whatever, but that's it. If they cut the streak or the rewards again, like I don't know that I'll keep making an effort to use it, honestly.
I haven't bought for a long time from them.
They give you about $50 a month. If you're at the max, it's about $47 a month, whatever it was. Jean,
I think he was saying 48.
Yeah.
This is the CEO of ShakePay, Jean.
Yeah.
And so they're going to be doing some changes. So the budget which they have allocated towards shaking, that's going to be looking like allocated towards something else.
Mm-hmm.
How much the shaking rewards are going to be reduced by, if like it could be to nil, it could be something. I don't know. There's going to be changes moving forward. So. Yep. Shakers, beware. Should
just be on Bull Bitcoin anyways, honestly. Why are you buying anywhere else? If you're in Canada especially, there's no better place to buy. Coinbase is not as good. Bitcoin Well is not as good. It's this or bust. And I'm not just saying that because they're a sponsor. I'm saying that because if you look at the team and the focus and the unwillingness to do everything from embrace clickbait thumbnails to sell Ethereum to go public to placate to shitcoiners, these guys have it figured out. And you shouldn't be patronizing companies that are spread too thin and getting thinner. Like in my view, it's a misallocation of your hard-earned money if you're buying Bitcoin anywhere else. You can use our code or not use our code. I honestly hope you do, but it's not going to break my heart if you don't. This is the best place for you to buy. No one goes to Bull Bitcoin and then says, I'm going to go to a different platform. Just doesn't happen. So I can't stress that enough. You're crazy if you're not using these guys.
I forgot to mention for the what the fuck we spent our money on. The segment, I have to be inspired to do it, so I don't know if it's going to be a weekly thing. If you like it, let us know. If you don't, let us know, and we'll pivot from there, because maybe this will be a one and done thing. And who the fuck knows?
Shall we do the usual Brampton versus Hamilton? Man, let's do it. Sponsored by who else?
256 Heat,
one and only. So I got a story to tell you about. So 256 Heat sells home heaters that also hash. Heat with hash. Heat your home. Get paid to heat your home. Twan's a friend of the show. He's been on a few times. And I have a story. He messaged me today directly and said, hey, I noticed that you're hashing at under 20 terahash the last 24 hours. You might want to check on the miner. Let me know when you have some time, whatever. We'll go through it. I said, how do you know that? He goes, when I sell the miners, I always keep a list of the units, like whatever. You can see all the miners on the network, right? I didn't know that. And he told me that he monitors them so that he can see problems before the user sees the problems and help.
Now, I just want to interject quickly. You could change that if you wanted to. If you want to be more private.
Yeah, sure. I didn't do that.
I'm just saying for anybody out there that's saying, "Oh, he's going to get access to all the information."
Yeah, no.
No, you could change it so he doesn't.
I am not. I'm not that private, nor am I that technical to do that. So he messaged me and said, "Hey, I can help you with this." So we ended up going through some of the standard troubleshooting stuff, and he was able to remedy the situation for me in like 15 minutes. Outstanding. You're not going to find someone who's as sharp and willing to help as Twan anywhere else. And so if you haven't thought about this yet, a bunch of you guys have already bought from Twan. I want to hear stories about how you like the heaters. You should be buying leading into the winter because it's going to be hard to get these things. You get a 5% discount now if you're a CBP listener, which is huge. And you're not going to find a better product than this. I'm telling you. We don't just pimp anything that comes our way. I only give our name, our brand, the stuff that I think is going to make a difference for you guys. And this has been great for me. It's been great for Len. And I know it's going to be great for the people that have bought it since we started using Tuan as a sponsor. So if you haven't done it yet, 256 Heat, go and start talking to Tuan about getting something for your house or your garage or your whatever. Because winter's coming, as the saying goes.
So the Brampton versus Hamilton man segment. Here we go. You can play along at home, and hopefully you get to pick the same one that Joey does.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Been
Here
pretty
we
good.
go.
I think he's only lost one so far.
That's right.
So first story we have is a man was arrested and charged after failing his driving test and quote unquote driving erratically, nearly hitting 4 pedestrians, police say. Officers were called out to a plaza. That's where police say a 36-year-old man became irate after failing his driving test and became he was starting to yell at staff. And then he got into his vehicle, then began speeding through the parking lot, they said. He attempted to drive through a pedestrian walkway, narrowly missing 4 people. Then it did a number of burnouts in the parking lot, police said. And they said they found a man sitting in the driver's seat of the parked in the parking lot in his vehicle. And the man was arrested and charged with dangerous driving and stunt driving. He's been banned for driving for 30 days and his vehicle impounded for 14 days, scheduled to appear in court to deal with these charges.
Okay.
That's man number 1.
Yeah.
Man number 2, someone was driving down the highway and he spotted something odd. He noticed that a person was rollerblading on the highway.
This is going to be a hard one.
While 2 police vehicles followed them. So one passerby said, I thought it was pretty crazy. She recorded the video roughly a minute long and said she was stuck in the highway for roughly 5 minutes. You can see in the video where he's rollerblading backwards and flipping off the cops at the same time. The picture's funny, by the way. He did cross the lane into the other side where incoming traffic was, but then he hopped back into the lanes we were all on. Interesting enough, police told CBC no charges were laid. The individual is located and educated on safe practices while rollerblading, and police reminded the public to safely use roadways as the weather gets warmer and people enjoy different outdoor activities. So we got the guy rollerblading on the highway versus the guy that failed his driving test. And I don't know how he did this, but he got in his car and drove away and almost was it legally or illegally because he failed his driving test.
We got to figure his G test. So he probably had his G2 license.
I maybe I think did not say. Okay. I just found that part odd that he got in his car, drove away, and nearly hit somebody. Did some burnouts in the parking lot.
Okay, I'm having a hard time with this one because normally our friends from India are sort of culprits in this kind of story. It's the traffic stuff. It's the going the wrong way. But I'm gonna say that I've not ever seen a Brampton man rollerblading. So I'm going to go with the driver's license guy is the Brampton man and the rollerbladers somewhere else, Hamilton man.
That's very good detective work by you. You are 100% correct. Okay. So yeah, so we do have that. Now, the guy that was riding on the highway, he was doing it on the link, the Lincoln Parkway.
That's in Hamilton. Wow, holy. Yeah.
And
that's great.
So that
when was that?
In 2023 April.
Nice. Okay.
So, yeah, and here's the story. I'll just post it here. You guys take a look at it, and you can see the get on there. You can see the very first picture he's giving the double finger.
I'm gonna pull it up right now for the chat. Here we go. Oh hell yeah! That's so great. I love it. I think that's fantastic. I'm gonna put it on the screen here for people who are looking at the video. This is great stuff. I love that. What a shot. What a shot. He's rollerblading backwards. He's pretty adept. Like, I mean, that's not easy to do. So
he just does not give a shit.
Yeah, good for him. Like that. Free
so I hope you enjoyed this Hamilton versus Brampton Man segment brought to you by 256heat.com. Check them out, heat your homes, and laugh at these stories at the same time. It's all good. So.
Let's get out of here. Thanks for listening and watching, everybody. I'll be back on Wednesday with Mo and Brian Day. And Friday we'll record with Mark, as I said before, and that'll come out next week. But until we talk to you next, take care of yourselves.
And don't be a Brampton man.